Dwight Shake says there's only one man who could possibly be behind this.
Yes, we
movies, films,
cinema. Thank you, cinema. We cut to Dirk Bogarde wearing the stupidest, thinnest glasses in the fucking world, sitting on the deck of a yacht in his little sailor cap. And let me tell you, Dirk Bogarde is my favorite part of this, or perhaps any film.
Every clip I've pulled is him.
Genuinely.
He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe is like, what if Moriarty was really gay, but not in an Andrew Scott Sherlock way, in a way that's actually cool.
Gay baiting shit. Yeah. Instead, it's like, again, things I am shocked that they got into the movie. I describe him as gay Blofeld, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see him come back to his sort of like castle lair, which is decorated in...
fucking hideous.
Yes.
If you've played Deathloop...
It's beautiful. It's perfect.
It's beautiful. It's really aesthetic. Yeah. What it is he has decorated it in a really trippy, psychedelic way that now is kind of only remembered in parody of like Austin Powers or whatever. Whereas this is a slightly less parodic. Still, comedic. But like, there's fucking spirals everywhere. There's like 8 different kinds of clashing wallpaper.
Yep.
Just like painted onto this castle courtyard.
Big circles on some of the walls. He loves to stand against those as well. Really, just incredible stuff.
And he's got what I can kind of loosely summarize as an evil polycule, right? Because sometimes being gay means that you have a found family, right? Like your podcast co-hosts. Or in this case, you are gay Blofeld. You have as subordinates a Scottish accountant.
Yes, McWhirter. Who is it's another of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, this guy, the thing about McWhirter is he's kind of an old-fashioned offensive stereotype.
Yeah, tight Scotsman.
Scottish people being like,
miserly. You know, the Scotsman finds a fly in his beer and he pulls it out by the wings and says, "Spit it out, you bastard." That kind of joke. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So he's constantly like saying this evil organization is costing us so much money. He upbraids Gabriel at one point and says, "You spent £30,000 on sex in June."
The accounts for your trip are rather disquieting. For example, sex in June, £30,000.
You've no sense of the true value of money, McWhirter.
Nevertheless, it all affects the final balance sheet.
And he has Mrs. Fothergill. Mrs. Fothergill, who is kind of Rosa Klebb.
Yeah.
Rosa Klebb if she was a different kind of lesbian.
Yeah, Rosa Klebb if she was done by people who were not homophobic or were or were like lesbophobic in a sort of like intra-queer way, I guess. Like not an unproblematic character, but I'm really fond despite myself.
She beats a clown to death.
It's a mime.
Throws him off
it's
a
a mime. And the thing is,
chokes him to death.
This mime, right? First of all, this mime is like.
My apologies to the mime community for conflating you with it.
Well, the mime has.
They're going to have some very strong words for me, and those words are going to be.
Oh, for fuck's
How
sake!
Dare you, motherfucker!
As McWhirter says, as they're sort of uncarting this mime,
we've got the clown who tried to betray us.
Betray? You will use over-dramatic language. Gave us away is quite enough.
But like, as they uncrate this mime to have Mrs. Fothergill like kill him by choking him with her thighs. Hello, I notice he is like bound and gagged, and I ask the question: why gag a mime? Because functionally,
you're scared of what he'd say, you know.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, functionally, to tie a mime's hand is to gag a mime. Like, I think.
And to be fair, they ungag him, and he doesn't say anything. Still, like
he lives by a code. And he dies by that code too.
He does.
Yeah. Although to be fair, I mean, when you say she chokes him out with her thighs, he does put his head between her thighs unprompted.
Would you not answer?
Okay,
mind you, you're under oath.
I've been recommended not to answer that question. Look it over. I got a lawyer like shaking his head at me.
He tries to do a clown routine for her to, I guess, like plead for his life in a way. She entertains this briefly and then throws him off a cliff and kills him.
She does. She throws him off a cliff. 2 hands, lifts him over her head like fucking Zod break, like Bane breaking Batman's back.
And the thing is, McWhirter is like, you see how this isn't making us any money, boss. And Gabriel goes, listen. We're not in this for the money. We're in this for watching evil MILFs throw mimes off cliffs. And that cuts to the heart of what I want from my villains. And it's like a perfect piece of villainy in this movie, I think. Gabriel is on his island workshopping how to threaten Paco, this magician. This is such a good scene because he tries to like deliver this what is functionally the threat, like eliminate Modesty Blaise or you will be killed. But he does it in this very like flowery language, and McWhirter is like paring it back to save money on the telegram.
Yeah, it's really good.
He's doing this like whole general speech where he's like, when I send a soldier into battle,
He switches accents for it. Yeah, it's great.
I cry, for the widows. And he stops and he goes, hold on, the widows and orphans. The widows and orphans' tears are my own as well.
Dirk Bogart's fantastic actor.
McWhirter's just like, eliminate her or we'll kill you.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. She's like, look, Paco will get it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Gabriel's in there. He's getting ready to fucking shoot this thing down. And he's like ginning it up to himself. He's like, it's always the hardest part.
A couple of things here. First of all, Gabriel is wearing an outrageous kimono to do this.
Yes, he is.
Second of all, his first question hearing this is,
The pilot's got a charming voice.
and then he tries to find out whether or not he's married.
He says any dependents.
Yeah, ostensibly to find out if he's going to like make any widows and orphans. But this is a gay joke as well. It's a gay joke as well. When he finds out that he's married and has 2 children, he's like, shame.
He's like, why couldn't they be bachelors?
But we get the transmission like, Rocket Base confirms 4 parachutes have been opened. And then Gabriel's like, yay! They survived!
It's so good. I've got the clip here of what he says next, which is,
Tell the friar to play it a Dion.
What shall I tell him to give thanks for?
For me, of course.
Dudes rock.
fantastic. Yeah, they all survived. We shot it down. Let's go, boy. It's perfect. I love the found family villains. I want more of them.
I love that his heart's not really in evil.
Almost all of them are alive at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just kind of about.
His objectives are like objective 1, serve. Objective 2, evil.
Yes,
That's it.
100%.
Serve cunt before I serve this country.
Meanwhile, we're just doing stupid gay bullshit. What Gabriel is doing at this point, and this is a long sequence, is trying to get a good creme brulee out of his chef.
So fucking
This
funny.
sounds like it's genuinely that like there's a solid 10 minutes of this that like
He sat with McWhirter. They keep bringing food out to him, and he's just like, "Oh no!" And then, like, instead of it being taken away, McWhirter's just like, "Give it here."
Yeah, at
Like,
one
I
point
wanna
he just
eat it
like
so it's not wasted.
he like taps the plate with his biro and points at his own sort of place on the table to be like, no.
The guy brings like 2 lobsters, and he puts it. And the shot is so the camera's between the 2 lobsters being proffered, and then he's just like looking at him. He's like, "That one, no, that one. Oh, decisions, both of them," and they just get dumped straight into some fucking boiling water.
Meanwhile,
Served up, and then he just goes like, "Oh,
I can't. Yeah,
Well, he can't because his henchmen are being trained
Oh,
to
are they ever?
to go on a diving mission by Carol.
Mrs. Fothergill. By the way, there is a joke in there that's like, who do you think there's a Mr. Fothergill? McWhirter says, and Gabriel just says, "I am Mr. Fothergill," which I really like. So Mrs. Fothergill she is sissy hypnoing a shirtless boy who she has like between her thighs,
I'm always doing this.
while she is torturing 2 men by forcing them to scuba dive.
I'm not always doing that.
Just some of the time.
only every so often." Damn.
But one of them, in the course of this, because they are training for the heist to come later, one of them drowns.
Yeah,
and Gabriel hears about this and he goes, "How can I eat lobsters when the lobsters are eating Borg? Take them away."
But most importantly,
So good.
so Mrs. Fothergill on the ship reels in the sort of the rope, and she finds the dead guy's necklace, and she puts it in her mouth and sucks on it. This woman is an icon. Visibility is so important. Women's stories matter. They just matter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always make sense, but they do matter.
Yes,
You
it's
think
so
this
important
doesn't
to
make
show women's
sense?
stories. And of course, instead of the lobsters being taken away, McWhirter does the thing where he just like taps on it. It's like, no,
Yeah.
give that shit. We're not wasting the money on that. Like, give me the fucking.
Gabriel has that lesson. I'm sure you wouldn't want to see that be wasted, yeah.
Yeah. Our accountant is the exact same way. He has to use so much of my leftover skincare routine. Next morning, she's out on the balcony, completely naked.
Mhm.
And she gets a call from Gabriel, who is in the harbour, has an incredibly cunty line.
I offer you a flag of truce and a delicious breakfast.
He's on a yacht in the harbour, like, looking at her through binoculars.
When he asks if she wants to get dressed, she draws a neckline on herself, which I think is really funny.
So good.
Yeah. Because
really
this
nice.
movie is for the gays, what we get is a gay lunt, right? Where
Yes, we do.
Gabriel, essentially, he pitches her as like, listen, you're a trans femme. I'm gay. We're both thieves. Fuck the British government. Do you want to just go in on this with me and split the
LGBT
diamonds? That's right.
Yeah.
Be gay, do crimes.
Do
And none of these
Do
like
crimes.
bitch-ass like turnstile jumping crimes. You want to steal $15 million worth of diamonds from the British government. And she's like, well, only on my
course you-
terms, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine, plan B. And he has his live-in lesbian wife hit really hard over the back of the head.
I think I have the line that immediately pulls on off from that.
I have a
actually.
special weakness for that.
Your Mr. Garvin is going to help us. Otherwise, I really can't say it. It's pure melodrama.
I'm not fussy, I will say it for you.
Oh, please, Clara, no.
If he doesn't, you will be killed.
Here's the thing, right?
That's the dynamic of the villain group. Like, that's it.
So they get brought up in handcuffs.
Mhm,
And we get to maybe my favorite part of the villainy dynamic, which is she goes, well, listen, I'm the heroine. Don't I get to escape? And he goes, perhaps. It's just, he's kind of rooting for her. Right?
He
Like,
very reluctantly says, I'm going to have to kill you now.
yeah, exactly. So what he does is he has her put in, this is Google
cell.
this, the Spanish anarchist prison cell intended to psychologically torture fascist prisoners
Yes.
by like using design.
For real?
Yeah, for real, it was a real thing.
Really funny.
To like torment the fascist sense of order. It had did weird mismatched patterns and a sloping bed and stuff. It was wild. He puts her in a room with decor, and we have seen that she like lives in an all white room.
Mhm.
And this has fucking like psychedelic wallpaper, a red spiral staircase in the middle, and she just kind of like is assaulted by it to the point that she takes off her shoes for the nth time and just kind of like bundles up in the corner for a bit.
Mm.
It's really like a really fun idea of like torturous decor. But she finds a little envelope with perhaps written on it and the key to her handcuffs.
Gabriel,
fucking-
baby.
Ah, I love him so much.
Mhm.
She climbs the spiral staircase and pops out immediately in his bedroom. Not as a sex thing either.
He's just lounging in there. Yeah, no.
It's fully just like,
Yeah, they're not going to fuck. He's
No.
gay. He just appreciates her style. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah, and the thing is, this puts the like putting a hero in an easily escapable situation thing in such a good context of being like,
Yeah.
because he wants her to fucking escape.
Mm.
He thinks that it's fun. He's having a great time. Like,
And he says, look, let's team up.
come
I
on.
will kill Carol. I'll shoot her. You join me. We'll split the diamonds, but you have to kill Willie
Yeah,
Garvin.
what if we just got rid of our partners and ran away together, right? And just
Like a criminal eloping.
Yeah,
Elopation.
Again,
Exactly.
platonic, non-sexual.
Elopement.
exactly. Although to be honest, it's non-sexual between her and Willie as well. There's a spoiler here, and this is the only I've never done spoiler tags on this because like it's a movie recap podcast. You know, you watch it first. This is the only time I'll ever do one because this is a moment at which I gasped. This is a moment for LGBT rights. Stonewall was in furtherance of this specifically. So just mute me for the next 15 minutes or so. 15 seconds or so. Jesus
Let's not
Christ.
fucking talk about this.
yeah. No, but like he, so like Gabriel is like doing some accountancy work with McWhirter, and he turns and he sees Mrs. Fothergill hanging and lets out this wordless scream, and then as he sees that Willie and Modesty are escaping with his diamonds, he rips off the white Andy Warhol wig. There is an honest to God wig snatch in this movie. He is like the culture. The culture. This is, I mean, moving like transitioning from
so
gay
good, man.
brackets loose to gay brackets action.
Yeah.
in the moment of
I'm
crisis.
always doing this.
So and it's also additionally very funny because obviously Modesty's been swapping back and forth between blonde and brunette this
Yeah.
whole movie. So seeing him rip off a blonde wig to be brunette underneath is also very funny on that
and
level.
I say this as an absolute compliment. It is drag queen shit.
The bit I do like is as they're engaging in this firefight, McWhirter is sitting behind the evil
Yes.
henchman counting the bullets that they're firing, and then one
Love
of them
it.
is like shooting all over the place, and McWhirter's like, stop wasting it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really love it. To the end, baby.
Gabriel has been staked out in the sun as punishment.
Yes, he
and
has.
he kind of like looks like he's about to say something, and they're like, "What?" And he goes,
Champagne.
like, I am always doing this, being tied up and calling for champagne.
Yeah.
I am always doing this. I do like Gabriel. He's my favorite character.
He's so good.